Mullet in general are sort of torpedo shaped. They're shaped like a strong swimming fish, and of course if they're migrating 100 miles offshore, they got to be good swimmers. They've got large scales. They do have 2 dorsal fins, which is not that common among fish, so it tends to get them classified with other things that have 2 dorsal fins, barracuda being one of them, silver sides being another. The number of rays in those dorsal fins can help separate the species. And the genus Mugle, which is all but one of our species, when they get a couple inches long at least, they develop an adipose eyelid. It's I guess you'd say translucent tissue, fairly thick. Closes off part of their eyeball. You know, they can still see through it, but it's just got a smaller opening in it. But the Mugle all have that adipose eyelid. They got a very strange looking mouth. It's usually described as triangular, and the teeth are not anything to write home about at all. Their teeth are very small, and they're not using their teeth for much, so that makes sense. To state the size range of mullet, you have to be species specific, because striped mullet get bigger than the others. I believe some records would take them up to 3 feet long, but that's got to be really rare. 2 feet long is probably a normal maximum size. White mullet are a little bit smaller than that, and fantail mullet are a little bit smaller than that even. You know, and that's the reason that striped mullet have been more prominent in the fishery. They're bigger, and females have a lot more roe in them, you know, so it makes more sense to harvest them. All fish pass a current of water through their mouth and out over the gills to breathe. Well, also on the inside of gill arches, fish have things called gill rakers, and that filters out particles, because if they're breathing in water, they're going to breathe in particles. Well, some fish just do that to get rid of things that they don't want, but some fish do it to filter out things that they want to eat, and mullet are one of them. And so they can filter particles out of this mud, and then they've got a gizzard that they grind it all up with. A lot of that is plant material. Some of it can be animal, but most people would say they're more heavily on the vegetarian side. In fact, that gizzard, that's a very interesting story. When I first got here, it's when they were trying to pass more and more laws about the mullet fishery, and there was a man that brought a court case, and it actually, I guess, made it to court because somebody here had to go testify, claiming that fisheries regulations could not apply to mullet because they have a gizzard, therefore they're birds.